ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितदद्गतेन मनसां पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम। So namaste once again everyone. सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः. So we are seeing the 21st sloka of the 6th chapter. And Lord Krishna in this chapter has been talking about Vedantic meditation as a means of assimilating the self-knowledge. We must remember that Krishna does not prescribe meditation for acquiring self-knowledge, because according to us, meditation cannot give self-knowledge. Only scriptures can give us the self-knowledge. The Upanishads. Shankaracharya, in his Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, clearly points out that self-knowledge has to take place from the Guru Upadesha and the systematic Vedanta teaching given by the Guru. And if self-knowledge does not take place during Shravana, while listening, there is no chance of gaining self-knowledge in any other manner. So if Shravanam does not give self-knowledge, what can one do? One has to do Shravanam again and again and again. If second time listening also does not work, one has to listen again. If that also does not work, again listen. There is only one solution, that is Shravana. Nothing else can give you the knowledge of yourself. And if throughout the life this does not take place, the next life continue from where you left off. Shankaracharya says, Vedanta Vakyena eva Atmajnanam Udeti. And therefore, meditation is not prescribed for gaining knowledge. But many people think that meditation being part of the Vedantic teaching, that will contribute something addition to the knowledge. Meditation is prescribed only for internalizing, assimilating the knowledge which has already been gained. And the reason is, assimilated knowledge alone will nourish you. After Shravanam and Mananam, the knowledge is there, but at the intellectual level. One may be able to give very good talks on that knowledge without living that knowledge. One can easily be Shrotriya without being Brahmanishta. That is why we see so many teachers of Vedanta. They are still seeking a lot of self-publicity. You can see them, all this YouTube and Facebook and all. They keep on whatever they are doing. It is okay if their teachings or the videos of their talks are shared, but they will share all their personal activities also. That means what? They have actually still identified themselves very, very closely with their body, mind, sense complex and all the worldly activities. No harm in doing that, provided you are doing it with full knowledge. So once the knowledge is assimilated, that is the assimilated knowledge is what going to nourish you, to take you or make you a jnani rather. It is just when we eat food, what nourishes our body is not the amount that we eat. What nourishes our body is the amount that we digest. Undigested food will not nourish. In fact, it will create more problem. Digested food alone nourishes the body. And therefore, there are people who have problems in their absorbing power due to the weak metabolism. Whatever they eat through one hole will go through the other hole. And the body will suffer malnutrition in spite of eating. Similarly, what we listen is not going to bless. What is going to bless is what we assimilate, what we live. There is a interesting anecdote about Swami Chinmayananda. One devotee, came to Swamiji. There are many people who, when they meet Swami, the Mahatmas like Swamiji and all, they would want to boast, they want to say, oh, I have done this Swamiji, I have done that Swamiji, I have studied this. They just want to show to Swamiji that they are really interested in this Vedanta. So one devotee came to Swami Chinmayananda, proudly said that he has gone through all the 10 important Upanishads and he has also gone through the Bhagavad Gita. So Swami Chinmayananda, he is a very, very, very witty person. He praised him. He said, very good. That is wonderful that you have gone through all the Upanishads. But tell me, how many Upanishads have gone through you? I don't know whether that person understood or not. But that is very important. You are going through many Upanishads is not going to help. It is not going to bless. What matters is how many Upanishads have gone through you. Even in fact, even if one Upanishad you have assimilated, that is more than enough. Because any Upanishad you take, they all talk the same message only. So assimilation is the most important aspect. And this Vedantic meditation, or Nididhyasanam as we call it, is purely for assimilation of this knowledge. And assimilation is accomplished by dwelling upon the teaching that I have received. As I said in the last class, Shravanam replayed mentally is Nididhyasanam. And it is that Nididhyasanam or Vedantic meditation that Krishna is talking about. And in these sections, slokas that we are seeing, he is talking about the stages of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Just for your information, we have got one gem in our class, Ramuji. He is a walking encyclopedia, library, whatever you can call, of all stuff relating to Vedanta. So last class I talked about Brahma Jnanananda Valli. So he has a recording of that. And he sent it across to me to share with all of you before the class. As I told you, there are some texts which are Nididhyasana slokas. All by Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara has been so compassionate. Every aspect of Vedanta, he has done something or the other. Even Veda also, rather. He starts from, Dvaitam. All these slokas that he has composed, Lalita Sahasranamam and all those kind of things. So many slokas he has composed. Even Kanakadhara Stotram, all that, Starting from Dvaitam, then he moves to, he has done a lot of work on Advaitam philosophy also. So after Ramuji sent me this recording, then I found out the recording of Nirvana Shatkam and Nirvana Dashakam also. So what I'm planning to do is before the class, 10 minutes before the class, I will be playing, instead of the instrumental music that I was playing earlier, I will be playing these slokas, very nicely composed slokas. So that is what is Nididhyasanam is about. Understand the meaning of those slokas, and it is nothing different than what we have been talking about in different contexts, about the Atma Swarupa. So I will be playing that, and those who are interested in listening to that, at least before every class, to remind you to set your mood for this heavy subject of Vedanta, you can log in about 10 minutes before time and then listen to the slokas, and then we'll continue with the class. And this is going to be done both for Bhagavad Gita as well as Viveka Chudamani, and then whatever classes in future will be there, it will be played for all that. But that is the crux of the entire teaching. If you have got that, if you have assimilated that knowledge, if you have applied that knowledge in your day-to-day living, success, that's all. That is what is the goal of this entire teaching. So this is, I just thought I will share this with you, and also on all your behalf, thank Ramuji for having shared this and also suggested to me that this we can do. So thank you, Ramuji. So in Vedantic meditation, what Krishna says, first withdraw your mind from worldly personality. Bring the mind to Vedantic teaching. So that bringing the mind to the teaching is dharana. And then trying to dwell upon the teaching continuously. As I said, sajatiya vritti pravaha. That is dhyana. And then when I am absorbed in the teaching, which talks about my higher nature, I am so absorbed that I forget all my relative personality. I forget I am the father or mother or brother or sister or husband or wife. I forget that even I am a teacher, I am a student. I am absorbed in my higher nature. All those personalities should become insignificant and incidental personalities. What I am is my Atma Swarupam. Everything else in the Vyavaharika world I do is role play. So Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Atma Asmi must be my primary personality. Now what is happening is my world personality is dominant. And I am Brahman is dominant only for 1 or 2 hours in a week. Especially Saturday and Sunday between 6 and 7 p.m. Aham Brahmasmi. And at all other time, I am Mahasamsari Asmi. Isn't it? That should be reversed. See, a Western author is there. His name is Wayne Dyer. He beautifully says, you are not a human being with a spiritual experience, but you are a spiritual being with an incidental human experience. What a beautiful quote. So do not look for a spiritual experience. When you are looking for a spiritual experience, what are you? You are a human being seeking spiritual experience. And that is the worst that can happen. On the other hand, through the teaching, what we have to assimilate is, I do not seek spiritual experience. I want to own up the fact that I am a spiritual being all the time. Human experience is something which comes and goes, which is incidental. I am Satchidananda all the time. I am pure existence, pure consciousness, and I am limitless. That is my real nature. Everything else is incidental to that. When I perceive some object and say that object is, that isness to the object is lent by me. It is my pure existence which I lend to perceive that object. I experience that object. So what should happen? What is today primary should become secondary, and what is secondary should become primary. And dwelling upon that teaching for this purpose is what is dharana, dhyana, samadhi is all about, which eventually culminates in total absorption. I am Satchidananda Swarupa Asmi. That is the absorption. And this absorption alone is called what? Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, which is the Yoga Phalam. Ashtanga Yoga Phalam is the absorption or Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. As we are seeing, Krishna is defining the Nirvikalpaka Samadhi by giving 7 different features. He gives 7 definitions for Nirvikalpaka Samadhi from different angles. Which topic we started from verse number 20, in which he gave 2 definitions. The first definition that we saw was Chitta Uparamanam. Nirvikalpaka Samadhi is a state of absorption in which the mind is totally withdrawn, totally relaxed, tranquil. It is at home, at peace, at poise. Chitta Uparamanam. Then the second definition we saw was Atma Darshanam. So a state in which one is invoking in his mind the knowledge of his own self that he has received. I am not the body. I am not the senses. I am not the mind. I am the consciousness principle, different from body, pervading and illumining the body. I am lending existence to the body. This owning up of my nature is Atma Darshanam. This was the second definition. Then the third definition was in verse number 21. Atyantikam Sukham, highest happiness, in which I own up the fact that my very nature is happiness. It is not an experiential happiness, because experiential happiness is finite, it is time bound. On the other hand, my nature is happiness, or my nature as happiness is born out of knowledge that I do not miss anything in life. I am already fulfilled person. I do not lack anything in life. I do not have any imperfection. This very understanding gives me a sense of fulfillment. And that knowledge born of fulfillment, that happiness born of that fulfillment is called Atyantikam Sukham. Third definition. Then the fourth definition we saw was Tattva Nishta, by which we mean that it is a state in which a person abides in his true nature, that he will not slip out of his Swarupam. He is Achyutam, he will not fall from that understanding even during his day-to-day transactions. This is called not losing the center of gravity. We saw an example where a cyclist moves, like an experienced cyclist, moves in a show or a circus. Whatever gymnastics he does, riding on one wheel and then lifting the front wheel, whatever he does, he does not lose his balance, because he is always conscious that he has to maintain his entire weight, body weight, everything has to not go away from the center of gravity. He should be very careful that he does not get out of the center of gravity. Then he is able to perform everything else. And in life, the center of gravity is what? Aham Satchidananda Swarupaha Asmi. And if during transaction one does not deviate, one maintains the center of gravity, it is called Sahaja Samadhi. So when I deliberately practice that, it is Samadhi. But when effortlessly I am in that state in and through all my transactions, like that cyclist, I am in Sahaja Samadhi. Even a normal cyclist, who has already learned cycling is what? Cycling is about maintaining your center of gravity. As long as you maintain that, you will not fall from the cycle. The moment the center of gravity shifts, you will fall from the cycle. So every cyclist, good cyclist who is riding on the road will not even be paying attention to his cycle. It's something automatic, it just goes on. He has to, and even without any effort, he will be maintaining his center of gravity. He is in Sahaja Samadhi with regard to the center of gravity of the cycle. So here, Jnani is in the center of gravity of himself. Therefore, the fourth definition is what? Tattva Nishtha or Sthita Prajna, as we saw in the second chapter. Whenever we are actually talking about all this, because Krishna talks about it repeatedly throughout the Gita. We must be able to connect all this with whatever we have already learned, what we have already studied. So Tattva Nishtha or Sahaja Samadhi is the fourth definition. So this much we have covered. Now continuing. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tatah yasmin stito na dukkhena guruna pi vichalyate. The Anvaya of this sloka is labdva yam cha na manyate aparam labham adhikam tatah stitah yasmin na vichalyate guruna api dukkhena. Labdva yam cha, attaining that samadhi. Na manyate, one does not consider. Aparam labham, any other attainment, any other achievement. Adhikam tataha, to be superior to that. Stitaha yasmin, remaining in which na vichalyate, one is not shaken. Guruna api dukkhena, even by great calamity. So attaining that samadhi, the tattva nishtha, one does not consider any other attainment to be superior to that, and remaining in which one is not shaken even by great calamity. Excuse me. I'm still battling with this jet lag. So mouth becoming dry and all this happening. Doesn't matter. So four definitions Krishna gave in Sloka 20 and 21. In this Sloka, Krishna gives two more definitions. When a person owns up this Purnatvam of the Atma, when he assimilates this knowledge, I am Purnaha, I do not lack anything in life, I do not need anything in life to be complete. When I own up that Purnatvam, thereafter I do not miss anything in life. And since I do not miss anything in life, whatever I enjoy because of my punyam, they all become luxury for me. Well, I don't need any of them. But when I get them without needing them, it is called luxury, isn't it? Because the definition of luxury is that which you enjoy when you have and which you do not miss when you do not have it, isn't it? Luxury is that which you thoroughly enjoy when available and you do not miss when it is not available. You don't crib about it. And what is a need? Anything that you need without which life will be difficult to live. That is the definition of need. So a need is something without which life will be difficult to live. So opposite of luxury is need. So a need is that which you do not recognize when it is there and which you very badly miss when it is not there. For example, when you do not have a car, you are used to traveling by bus or rickshaw or any other means of public transport. And someday somebody gives you a lift in his car. Lucky day, Some punyam you have done. You did not wait in the sweltering heat for a bus to come. This guy comes, air-conditioned car, big car. He gives you a lift to your office. It's a luxury. And you thoroughly enjoy that trip, brother. But you enjoy that knowing fully well that the next day you will have to revert to the same bus or auto rickshaw or whatever it is. Next day you will not miss the car because you are used to whatever transport you have been traveling. So traveling by car becomes a luxury in that circumstance. But suppose your father had a car and right from childhood you are used to travel in that. Then you will never look at the car as a luxury at all. You will feel that it is a necessity. And suppose the car goes to the garage for some few days for repairs, etc., you will miss it very badly because now it is no longer a luxury, it is a need. So the definition of luxury and need also depends. It's all contextual, it is all relative. We must understand this very carefully. What is a luxury? What is a need? Eating chapati, rice, dal is a need. Getting a Onam feast is a luxury. Every day you are not going to get the Onam feast. Onam feast, it's a very elaborate, what they call sadhya. Too many items are there. So this is the difference between luxury and need. Luxury is that whose presence you enjoy, whose absence you do not miss. Need is that whose presence you do not recognize, whose absence you very well badly need, badly feel rather. So for a jnani, everything in life is luxury. Every blessed thing in life is a luxury. Because he doesn't need any of them other than the minimum requirement. Food, clothing, and shelter for his survival, for this body to maintain itself. Other than that, everything else a jnani considers as a luxury. If they are there, well and good. Not there, he will not bother about it. So when they are around, he will thoroughly enjoy. But when they are not there, he is not going to miss them. So Krishna says, Yam labdhva, having owned up that purnatvam, having gained that absorption, aparam labham, all other aims in life, all other goals in life, all other accomplishments in life, na adhikam manyate, they do not consider them as great gains. In front of the accomplishment of Purnatvam, all other gains become insignificant. At night, we see the beautiful sky, so many stars. isn't it? We can see them only at night. Why? Because of night, darkness, avidya. But in the morning, when the sun rises, the bright light of the sun will actually diminish the power of all the stars. You don't see any star when the sun is shining. So when the wisdom of knowledge in the form of sun or sunrise in the form of wisdom of knowledge arises, everything else becomes insignificant. Therefore, what is the fifth definition? Atyantika labha. It is the highest gain in front of which all other gains are insignificant. Then the next definition he comes to yasmin stitaha, remaining in this atmanishta, in the center of gravity, in the nature of oneself, na vichalyate. One is not shocked, one is not shaken by gurunamapi dukkhena. Even the worst tragedy in life, nothing is capable of shaking that stage. He has transitioned from what to so what. Because he knows all other things in life are subject to arrival and departure. Here the word guru does not mean a teacher. It means heavy, because the word guru has got two meanings. One is a teacher, another is heavy. Heavy as in weight. No? So it's not a noun, it's an adjective here. So he is not shaken by, disturbed by, unsettled by the heaviest sorrow. So the sixth definition is what? Atyantika dukkhena nivritti. Therefore, total freedom from sorrow means what? Always happy. You need not be happy, but freedom from sorrow is more important. So in this verse, Krishna has given two more definitions. Atyantika labha and Atyantika dukkhena nivritti. Now in the next sloka, Krishna is going to give the seventh and final definition of Nirvikalpaka Samadhi or Yoga Phalam. We will read. Tam vidya dukkha sayoga viyogam yoga sangitam sanischayena yoktavya yogo nirvinna chetasa. Anvaya is Vidyat tam dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam yogaha saha yoktavyaha nischayena anirvinna chetasa. Vidyat tam. Tam vidyat, you can say. One should know that state, dukkha sanyoga viyogam, which is disassociation from association with sorrow. What a beautiful expression Krishna gives. Disassociation from association with sorrow. Yoga Sangitam, to be known as Samadhi. Here yoga means Samadhi. Yoga has saha, that dhyana yoga, that Samadhi. Or dhyana, here second yoga means dhyana yoga. Yoga has saha means that dhyana yoga which is leading to that Samadhi, yoktavyaha, should be practiced nischayena, with firmness, anirvinna chetasa, with a tireless mind. So one should know that state which is disassociation from association with sorrow to be known as Samadhi. Dhyana yoga leading to that state should be practiced with firmness and with tireless mind. So here, the seventh definition which he gives is a technical definition. And Krishna actually gives this definition to avoid a confusion. Even though we might not have had any confusion in what we have learned so far, but a confusion can come out of the third definition, which is Atyantika Sukham, which Krishna has given. Because when you say extreme happy Atyantika Sukham, a person may think that this knowledge and practice of samadhi is going to bring about the highest happiness in life. And if you are going to think that the greatest happiness is going to come as a result of dhyanam, we are committing a big mistake. Because anything that comes in time will definitely be lost in time. Jatasya hi dhruvor mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So if it is an experiential happiness being the highest happiness also, whether it is sense pleasure or whether it is pleasure born out of meditation, if the pleasure is generated during meditation, then it will last as long as meditational conditions are there. And when I am out of meditation, that so-called samadhi ananda will also go. And that is why Vedanta says, never seek mystic pleasures. Vedanta does not emphasize even mystic pleasures, because even mystic pleasures, since they arrive in time, will be subject to loss, subject to going away. And that's why, as I said in the last class, some people who claim that they had the greatest bliss in Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, they themselves say that when they came out of it, the pain was intense. Because that Ananda which was there, that went away. In fact, the comparison was sting of hundreds of, what was that? Yeah, spiders. So, the higher the experiential pleasure, the higher will be the pain when it goes away. And no, none of us want such a kind of a pain, isn't it? And therefore, Krishna wants to say that here what you should understand as infinite Ananda, the infinite Ananda should be that which never arrives. If it should be infinite Ananda, it should never arrive at a place or time or in a particular condition. And infinite Ananda is that which does not go away. And therefore, infinite Ananda is possible only if it is already there and now it is there. Infinite, by definition, is that which is here and now. Therefore, one should not ask how to get infinite Ananda. If somebody tells you that you will get infinite Ananda by doing this sadhana or this karma, don't go behind him. He himself does not know what is infinite Ananda. Because if you get it, you will lose it also. Such an Ananda has got to be finite Ananda, not infinite Ananda. Therefore, in Vedanta, when we say infinite Ananda Prapti, it is owning up your own nature of Ananda. Sachidananda Swarupa hai. Owning up your own very Swarupam as Ananda, which you are unaware of due to your ignorance. So it only means you remove the superimposed sorrow upon our Swarupa. It is not getting a new thing, but it is removing the obstacle to own up your own nature. It is, exactly like a doctor restoring your health by giving some treatment. This example is given by one of the Acharyas. Beautiful example. When the doctor treats you, what does he do? He never gives you health. No doctor gives you health. In fact, no doctor need to give you health. Health means good health rather. Good health is natural, whereas disease is an incidental thing which we have acquired, which is unnatural, which is an intruder. And when I get back my health, I have not accomplished anything new. I have only got back what I originally had. The doctor has removed the obstacle in the form of the disease and restored my health. So whatever was the obstacle to natural health, that obstacle, that intruder has been removed by medicine. So when the intruder toxin is removed, it is not a new state I have acquired. I have only come back to my natural state. And that's why in Sanskrit, the word for health is defined as being natural. Swastaha. Swastaha means healthy. And swastaha means what? What is the derivation of swastaha? Swasmin tishtati iti swastaha. Remaining in one's own nature. Su asmin. Su here stands for good health. Swasmin tishtati iti swastaha. So what is good health? It's one's own nature. Similarly, Ananda is our nature. And when we are enjoying infinite Ananda, we have not acquired anything. We are only going back to our natural state, having removed the obstacle which we have superimposed, obstacle of samsara, which we have superimposed on our natural self due to our ignorance. Sorrow is an intruder, like disease, which we have acquired by our wrong thinking and misconception. And by the Vedanta study, by assimilating that study, we are only removing the sorrow microbes or sorrow bacteria through the antibiotics called Atmajnanam. So Atmajnanam dose, you have to, like a antibiotic course, regularly you have to do for some length of time, weekly, once, twice, thrice. And when you take that, sorrow goes away. Therefore, this Swarupa Ananda is not something new you get. But Ananda, your nature, is your very own nature which you own up. And therefore, Krishna says, Dukkha Sanyoga Viyogam. Samadhi is remaining in the natural state of Purnatvam by negating the unnatural sorrow. Every sorrow, if you analyze, you will find it is unnatural because either it belongs to the body, or it belongs to the mind, or it belongs to the world. None of them is your true nature. Therefore, what you have to do? You have to take every sorrow, hand it over back to where it belongs. Hand it over to the Anatma, respective Anatma where it belongs. If it is the sorrow belonging to your body, hand it back to your body. If it is a sorrow belonging to your mind, hand it over back to your mind. If it is a sorrow belonging to the world, hand it back to the world. Hand it back, I don't mean physically hand it back, but in your thinking, in your mind. This is not mine. I have to return it to the owner. Body owns this sorrow, let the body take care of it. And that is what, once you have handed out all the sorrows to the respective sources, then what remains is my Swarupa, my natural self. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham is what remains. And therefore, what is Samadhi? Dukkha Sanyoga Viyogam. Disassociation from association with sorrow. Willy-nilly, we have associated ourselves with sorrow because of our ignorance. And that wrong association we have to give up. We don't need to develop any new association with happiness. Because happiness is already there. It happens to be our Swarupam. No new association. We are already associated fully with happiness. So the seventh definition is Dukkha Sanyoga Viyogam. Disassociation from association with unnatural sorrow. And this Krishna gives a name Yoga Sanyitam. This is called Yoga. Nirvikalpaka Samadhihi. So with this, the seventh definition is also over. Now in this sloka, Krishna gives a piece of advice to all Vedantic students. He says, Saha Nischayena Yoktavyam. One should practice this yoga by going through Bahiranga sadhanas and Antaranga sadhanas, by going through Dharana, Dhyanam. One has to practice this. But otherwise, what will happen? All that we are talks, we are hearing, we are studying, we are learning, will all be verbal gymnastics. It will not bring about any transformation. Our aim is not to gain the information of Gita. That is not what we want. Our goal in Gita study is transformation of our personality. That is what we want. If I do not want to transform myself, if I do not want to get rid of this sorrowful state of affairs, what is the use of knowing one more text? I did Tattva Bodha. Now I am doing Gita, that will also be finished. Then I will take up Upanishads. Like I said, a person can go through all these Vedantic texts without the text going through that person. Even Brahma Sutra you will finish. And everybody around you will complain that this person all very good, Vedanta and all, but he continues to be a terrible person. Well, what is the use? Therefore, the entire study, the goal should be I need to transform myself. Today, some people like me, some people don't like my presence. I'm not bothered about their views. I don't want to be liked by all the people also. But I must be always happy. I must not be affected by anything which is external. And for that transformation, Nitidhyasanam is the only way. So, Saha Nischayena Yoktavyam means may you practice that Samadhi. May you practice this yoga with perseverance because it requires time, effort, and commitments. As I said, every day in our Vedantic study, we must, in our mind, measure our progress. Have I become a better person in my view than what I was yesterday? Do I still continue to have regrets and guilt? These are the two things which should go away from your life, regret and guilt. Because in our worldly life, we have got a lot of commitments, and therefore, what we sacrifice first is Vedanta. When we talk of Vairagyam, it is very easy to develop Vairagyam towards Vedanta than develop Vairagyam towards our worldly commitments. So as Swami Paramatmananda says, an easy definition of Vedanta is that which is easy and which is sacrificed first. Any other job we will not leave. If we want to do any other job, go on sightseeing tour, attend marriages, visit friends, go to a movie, first casualty will be Vedanta. Isn't it? I mean, all of you touch your heart and say whether it is true or not. And that is why Krishna is emphasizing that we have to value this meditation and practice this yoga, anirvinna chetasa, with a tireless mind, which is not prone to depression or despondency due to the time taken. Many people say 25 years I have been studying Vedanta, nothing has, no difference is there. How will difference be there if you have not brought about the difference? Mechanically, you are studying one text after the other. You will never achieve your goal like that. You have to give up something to gain something. As they say in Hindi, कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. There is no free lunch. So anirvinna chetasa, a mind which does not develop any pessimism without any self-defeatance, you have to practice. Let it take any amount of years. But as I said, my goal should be, I should be able to do more today than what I did yesterday. And there is a reason for that also, because what happens is there are a lot of things deeply buried in our subconscious mind. And when we sit in meditation, when we are trying to remove all our thoughts from our active mind, what will happen? All problems from the subconscious mind will start surfacing. And you have to deal with each one of them. During our regular activities, we will not have those worries because we are busy with other activities. So the worries will remain in the subconscious. And when we sit in meditation and remove all other thoughts, the subconscious worries, which are all sitting and waiting for an opportunity, they will all come up. First spouse, his or her problem will surface. All recent arguments will be replayed. Sometimes flashbacks of the old arguments will also be projected. Then problems and worries from workplace will follow. Son worry, daughter worry will come, stand in front. All these will come, and therefore for many days, if you sit in meditation but unable to practice meditation by dwelling on sajatiya pratyaya pravaha, we have to realize that will happen. First few days or some period of time, we will do everything other than meditation. It can cause frustration, depression, and despondency. And that is why Krishna says, never get frustrated. Anirvinna Chetasa, you practice this meditation. Continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti
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 Hari Om
Hari
Shri
Om Shri
Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha
Namah
Hari
Hari
Om
Om.
Dhanyavad hai everyone.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much,
Thank you
Guruji.
very much.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you,
Namaskaram,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guruji,
Thank you, Guruji.
today's
Yes.
class was so nice.
Sorry,
Excellent.
please little louder.
I think today's class was so enlightening. I think
You're getting into it. Yeah.
no, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. If we understand, I think it was very nice. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you.
the final thing. Go. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And
I have no questions. I just wanted to appreciate, that's all. Nothing else.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you,
Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you. No questions are there. No hands are going up.
Thank you, Guruji. A very nice class, Guruji. It just reminded me of, I can't say reminded me because that is something that's been about, there's a, in the Art of Living course, Guruji, and they take you through different steps towards Sahaj meditation.
Yeah.
They call it as Sahaj meditation, and they first some yoga stretches and yoga exercises and some another package of yogasanas called Padma Sadhana, which gets you more grounded, and then the different stages of the pranayams and the Sudarshan Kriya, and then it culminates in Sahaj Samadhi. Sahaj Samadhi meditation. So when you are explaining about the different steps of Sahaj Samadhi meditation, it was nice to know that it's been taught in a very systematic way by that organization.
Yeah.
When you sit for the meditation, the instructions, the simple instructions are for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Just assume that you don't want anything, you don't want to know anything, you're not going to do anything, and you are nothing. You're not any of the roles that you normally play.
Yeah.
Like as you aptly described, either brother, sister, student, guru, or whatever.
Right.
So, and they also take you through the different simple, gentle, guided meditation where our environment is our first body, and then you just keep on witnessing that's happening there. The environment, your own body, your own breath, your own mind, intellect, and ego, and then you just keep on looking at them, and then they naturally drop them off, and then what remains is you. So that kind of what was being taught in those classes was kind of got boosted by what you said today, Guruji. Thank you very much.
All gurus will teach the same methodology only. But from our point of view, it is based upon Vedanta. First, give the knowledge. Because if you just say that you drop everything and what remains is you, it could be nothing also. Isn't it? If you don't know what is me, what my Swarupa, if you don't know I am Atma, I am Sachidananda Swarupa, that what is remain after you negate everything else. Then if you negate everything else, the question will be, who am I? So Vedanta answers that question first. Krishna answers that question first in second chapter, third chapter, and also fifth chapter. And then he comes to meditation. He says, in order to assimilate that knowledge, you do this. That's what the process Krishna follows. So that is it. Okay. I think there is no more questions are not there. So we'll close the class and continue next week. Okay.
Thank-
Hari
Thank you, Guruji.
Om. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Hari
you,
Om.
Guruji.
Om.